Next up, 4:25 p.m. Eastern, LA Rams 7-3, 4-1 on the road at Green Bay Packers 8-3, 4-0 at home. Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 36 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 8 miles per hour. This one is absolutely fascinating, and I can't wait to talk about it. Let's first start with the market that we are dealing with. We have the Packers opening up at -1. There's been no movement at Pinnacle. There's been a 1 cent move towards the Rams. This total is at 48. There's been a 1 cent move towards the under. In a couple books, it moved it to 47.5. When we go to the cash flow in this spot, we have 3,139 tickets in. 45% of the tickets, 65% of the cash on the spread on the Rams. It's always going to be on the spread. I'm never going to give you the money line unless I mention money line. Then we have 59% of the tickets on the over and 81% of cash on that over. The Rams desperately needed their bye week. They were last seen in an ugly 31-10 loss at San Francisco in Week 10. Stafford looked bad, 26 of 41, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He threw 22 touchdown passes and 4 picks in his first 8 games. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions, being sacked 7 times, and his completion percentage keeps dropping. That's in his last 2 games. Cooper Kupp, I mean, what can you say about him? He's been spectacular and continues to be that way. 11 passes for 122 yards in that bad loss. They got no pressure on Jimmy G. 1 sack, 1 quarterback hit. They added Miller to this pass rush. They already led the NFL in sacks. How do you explain what's gone on? They add Beckham to the most prolific passing offense, and now, it became a must pickup after Robert Woods was lost for the season with a knee injury the same day that Beckham came in. They didn't get an upgraded defensive back, so they haven't been able to replace Troy Hill there and nickel. They didn't do that. They didn't find a new linebacker who can cover receivers. That's clearly been a need for them. The Packers come in off a 34-31 win in Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 33, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He was so good. And he now has this turf toe injury, which is perfect for his fucking story. And he keeps rising to the occasion off of all of this. He's a pretty spectacular quarterback. Valdez-Scantling, 4 catches, 123 yards. Devontae Adams, 7 catches, 115 yards. With Aaron Jones out of the lineup, A.J. Dillon ran 11 times for 53 yards, but they couldn't get enough pressure. 2 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. They had given up just 34 points over their previous 3 games, and then the Vikings just did whatever they wanted. Preston Smith had 2 sacks, but that pass rush with Rashawn Gary out, Zadarius Smith and Whitney Merciless out long-term is not very good. Elgin Jenkins went down in the fourth quarter with an injury to his left knee. He was carted to the locker room. So, look, this is a 2020 Pro Bowler at left guard who replaced Bakhtiari. Bakhtiari's yet to return from a torn ACL. I don't believe. This is his 3-week window. He has to play. I imagine that he's going to play. But let's take one last look at this. So Bakhtiari recently went did an arthroscopic procedure on a surgically repaired knee and isn't expected to
He's
practice
out.
or
He's
play.
out from what I've read.
Wow. So the 3-week window will close and he won't have played. And maybe he doesn't play this year. And Jenkins is on the injured reserve. You have Lazard, Rashawn Gary still questionable. Merciless isn't coming back anytime soon on IR. Jair Alexander is still a long way out from returning. I mean, how can the Packers do anything but cash overs at this point? I'm not sure who we're supposed to start off with on this one. C-Mac,
I can go.
Let's go with you. Rams, Packers.
I'll be quick. Man, this is a freaking difficult one for me because you got the Rams who've looked horrible the last few weeks. They're off the bye. McVay's been really, really good. Obviously, he's been owned by Shanahan, the 49ers. They lost again. Like I said, he's really good off the bye. All these injuries to the Packers, and they got gashed a little bit. I was shocked it was that bad by Kirk Cousins, because the weeks before, I thought this Packers defense has really been playing well. They played well all year for what they had, and they gave it up through the air to the Vikings. It was the ultimate spot for the Vikings. I'm sure a lot of us had it. They were the play. through and through. But Kirk Cousins diced them up. They went deep with ease to Jefferson. He was burning them. Thielen, Cook was pretty good. This one's really tough. The tough thing for me is Aaron Rodgers. I know he's got the toe problem, but he's back at home. Packers do have a bye week after this, so it's a little tricky. They get healthy. I just have a tough time at a pick 'em not taking Aaron Rodgers here to win this football game. At home, Lambeau Field. It's just tough for me. To me, it's that or pass. This is I can't take the Rams. Stafford's shown a little bit of the Stafford of the Lions, and he's played the Packers pretty well when he played with the Lions. They could never win in Green Bay, but he did all right. So to me, it's a heavy lean with the Packers right now just to win the game. I know his toes messed up, and there's some other problems. Jones, at running back, other guys, D-line. But I'd only be on the Packers here. It's not easy, but Packers are nothing for me here.
See, my initial feeling is the opposite. Rams coming in off a bye. Everybody just watched them look terrible for 2 weeks. They needed the bye. And now this Green Bay Packers team is so beaten up. And look, the Packers could lose this game and still easily win the division. Look, I know that the Vikings are on the up and up, but, I mean, they have a nice comfort zone here. And I agree if both teams were healthy, if both teams were coming off a bye, if both teams won their division and were meeting in the playoffs at Lambeau, completely different situation. But here, I think
they're shook a little bit, Jimmy. I mean, Woods is out, Beckham's in. I hope the bye. It is the old. If you like the Rams, I think so. But you're not getting catching points with the Rams here. Nah, I would want points with the Rams, in this game. So it's either stay off or Green Bay. I know Green Bay's banged up, and I look your way too, with the bye and that whole shit with McVay. It's but it's just tough for me that the Rams go in there and win, on Sunday.
If you had a free bet very quickly, C-Mac, really quickly on the total at 48, what would you do?
Wow, that's tough. After last week, but this is recency bias, I'd lean over. But before that, the Packers defense, maybe they were playing over their head, and I think they were a little bit. They're coming off that shutout. The Seahawks aren't very good, obviously, but I still think their defense is pretty good. I don't know. Give me the over, 47.5.
Sean Dune says Green Bay will beat the Rams. Same offense, San Francisco, better quarterback. Yeah, absolutely. But this is a team coming in off a bye against the Packers team that's absolutely beaten up. I want everybody to be on the Packers. I'm going to move on the Rams when the show's over. This is just not fair. It's just an unfair situation when Rodgers has turf toe and you're missing these huge pieces of the defense. Let's see if Babano can shed some light on the spot. Rams, Packers, Babano, take it away.
Yeah, I'm in Camp Jimmy a little bit more on this one. I've been high on the Rams all year. And yeah, they've had a couple of really bad games, a couple of rough weeks in a row. And obviously it goes without saying, but let's factor in the situation we had for the Rams for the Monday night game against San Francisco. They just got Von Miller. They just got, and they just found out Robert Woods was out for the year. They just got Von Miller. They just got Odell Beckham Jr. And look, they were barely with the team for a few days. Did they even get a chance to practice once or twice? And the chemistry was screwed up. Everything was out of sync. Nothing looked good. Nothing looked right for the Rams in that game against the 49ers. But now you've got Sean McVay off the bye. Now all these guys are going to get on the practice field. They're going to get reps. They're going to be able to build that chemistry a little bit. McVay's track record off a bye is second to none. I think he's covered almost every game as a Ram head coach off a bye week. Maybe one time he didn't cover, but I know his track record's damn good. Straight up in ATS off a bye week here. And look, the one hesitation here is, man, I often like to back Aaron Rodgers off a loss and the Green Bay Packers off a loss. And obviously they're off one here against Minnesota last week in that back and forth shootout. But you can't overlook the injuries. You can't overlook that Aaron Rodgers has the turf toe injury, which he said earlier today on the weekly spot he does on the Pat McAfee show, said it's worse than turf toe, what he has. The pain of it is worse than turf toe. That's how much he's in. That's why it's beyond amazing what he was able to do last week through that injury against Minnesota. But here's the problem now. Bakhtiari's out again. the guy that was supposed to replace him at left tackle, he got injured last week. He's out for the season. You're down to a third left tackle on your depth chart for this game for the Green Bay Packers. And you've got a situation now where obviously Devontae Adams is going to be marked by Jalen Ramsey. You've got a third string left tackle essentially, and you've got to try to block the likes of Robert Quinn and Aaron Donald. That's difficult to me in this game with a hobbled quarterback that's got this bad toe injury that, look, he wasn't moving around all that swiftly against Minnesota last week. He did what he had to do, but it wasn't exactly a fluid, fully mobile Aaron Rodgers in that game against the Vikings. And now this is not a situation where you want to be on your third left tackle going up against this Rams defensive front. And an angry football team, quite honestly, off a bye week, rested, and now playing after 2 straight losses. So it is a pure, flat-out Rams spot. It's a home run spot for the Rams, and I think the matchups are a little bit more in their favor. Now, you do have the black cloud over the head of Matthew Stafford. A big, important game like this on the road against a good football team and a good quarterback. Can you win a game like this? There's still some doubt there. There's still some question marks there. And how can this team find a way to get someone other than Cooper Kupp and Higbee at tight end to step up and make plays for Stafford in the passing game? That's still up for debate. But what's not up for debate is we've got a coach that's been consistently getting it done in this spot off a bye. We've got a compromised Green Bay offensive line and a hobbled quarterback that's going up against an angry team with still one of the better defensive fronts in the NFL. If I'm playing, I'm taking the Rams here.
Honestly, why even play Rodgers? This game means nothing to the Packers. Nothing. They could lose this game, be 8-4.
That factors into the spot. There's urgency for the Rams now. They're in a brutal division. They're in a huge battle with Arizona right now. San Francisco's not even fully out of it now after their last couple of wins. Green Bay's just cruising with ease. They're just on cruise control to the NFC North division. So the urgency level and, who needs the win more in this particular game? It's got to be the Rams.
I'm moving on the Rams and the team total over 23.5. Not that I don't like the over, but would you be shocked if they're like, Rodgers, you have a bye next week? Sit down. Let's get your toe right. So I'm moving on the Rams, then team total over 23.5 as soon as this show is over. And this is not a fair fight. And that's why we bet it.
Real quick. But Rodgers going to be hobbled, of course, and I get it. That Rams defense needs to start showing up. There's still talk, and they're still pretty good, but they have not looked good in spots all year long. So they need to get shit together. Maybe Von Miller will bring that. So a lot of names, of course, Donald's still a beast, a freaking in the middle of that D-line, but they have not in spots this year. That Rams' defense does not look like it has last year. So maybe they can start getting together and play a lot better.
We're going to learn a lot about this football team on Sunday.
Yes.
But you have to imagine that this is the perfect buy low spot if you trust this team moving forward. The best buy low spot you'll have all year on them. So I'm going to move on them, and who knows? Maybe we sit here on Sunday morning and it's Jordan Love and acting the fool.